Game 4 is tonight, but the 8 and the 24 are on the minds of LeBron James and the Lakers. It's Mamba Day, one unlike any before for Laker Nation. The Lakers go for a 3-1 series lead as they take on the Trail Blazers. Tip-off is at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 p.m. bubble time here on Spectrum Sportsnet. Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm Chris McGee, Hall of Famer Big Game James Worthy, a champion and an all-star, and a great man, Caron Butler. We got Allie Clifton, we got Brez, we got Trudell, the whole gang here. It promises to be a special day as we celebrate the life of Kobe Bryant and Mamba Day.
Yeah, it's it's one of those days of, it's hard to believe. It's been almost 7 months, I believe. But boy, did he leave a legacy. And that's what we celebrate today. We're going to be talking about him a lot. It's hard to believe he's gone.
Yeah, I think that when you think about the celebration of Kobe's life and the legacy, I think that's what we should just continue to focus on. And that's what I was thinking about this as my drive coming in here. Our conversations, playing alongside of them, and just so many positive memories and takeaways. Be better, as they say. Be better.
Yeah, on the way over here, Geeter, I was listening to a radio station, and they were airing the last interview that they had with Kobe. And, it was just listening to his voice. Yeah. And he had written a children's book. And he was talking about how much input he put into, just thinking about how kids really look at books. You just can't throw any type of material or anything in there. Just his quest for excellence. It will remain, with us forever. But just hearing his voice, talk about his kids, and his wife Vanessa was on the way over here. I was listening to his last interview with this station.
Over the years, having the opportunity to sit down and do 30-minute interviews with him, those were the most exciting times. You'd feel like it was a Super Bowl almost, and you've done them before as well. Yeah. So have you, where you're sitting down with Kobe. But I just loved listening to him when I would just hear him, like you said, on the radio or TV. It was just, and it's hard to hear it now, but man, he's just so fun to listen to. Thoughtful
I think the biggest thing for me was just reflecting on the conversations. Like whenever you achieve something of, whatever goal it is while you're trying to obtain the mission, that text message or that phone call, now what? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I miss that dearly. And those messages just stay with me.
And that's what you're doing for players now, Cron. You're talking to guys all the time, and then that's a big part of it. So the Lakers will honor Kobe by wearing their Black Mamba City Edition jerseys tonight against the Blazers. The jerseys will also feature a patch honoring Gianna Bryant as well, as we remember all 9 lost on that tragic day, January 26th. We now get to basketball. We take a look at how the series stacks up heading into Game 4. The Lakers have dominated the series in terms of offense, 106.7 to 98.7. The defense for the Lakers have been on point. They've out-rebounded them by 10. 8 more assists, less turnovers, points off turnovers better, and points in the paint a plus 14. So the Lakers winning in that category, and they're up in the series 2-1. And oftentimes, Game 4 is a pivotal game, especially at 2-1. It's a chance to separate. But as we saw with Luka and the Mavs, the Clippers, just like that, James, it could be 2-2, and it becomes real.
Yeah, and I'm sure as they were watching that game last night unfold, because that's all you have to do in the bubble is watch other teams play and pick up on, what they're doing. I'm sure they, noticed that you can't be, lackadaisical. Not that the Clippers were, but even Doc Rivers said they didn't have the emotion. And when you're playing against Luka, if you're not emotional, something. He gonna do it to you. Something's not right. He gonna give you some emotion, and that's what happened last night. He gave it to his teammates. I thought Curry, played well. Hardaway, when you have Porzingis out and you have other guys who need to step up, and you have a leader on one ankle like Luka who still gets the job done, and tonight's game you know, in golf, the third day is, they call it moving day.
Moving day.
Moving day. And, you know, and this is the game that the Lakers need to go ahead and move on and you know, and secure this game and go ahead and get it done at the end.
Karan, how important is it to gain the advantage and edge in a series, whether it's 2-2 or 2-1, just to get that edge and a chance to separate by 2 games and give yourself some breathing room, and then you can see the finish line?
Well, I think Big Game touched on it and nailed it. You know, it's just one game closer to finishing this series and getting prepared for the next challenge at hand. But I think it's extremely important that you don't overlook this. And sometimes you can learn a lot from your competitors and other people that's out there on the platform playing. So, for instance, watching Dallas, watching the Clippers, seeing what that edge happened. Porzingis goes down. They kind of probably took the edge off a little bit, and they found themselves in a even series. The Lakers do not want to do that. And they're learning from their competitors' experiences. So I think that with LeBron at the helm, knowing the sense of urgency to go out there and impose his will on this series, just to give ourselves a little more cushion, that's exactly what's probably going to happen.
It wasn't a great first half for the Lakers. They weren't great from the free throw line, but we knew a LeBron type of performance was coming. We talked about it throughout the first 2 games. It wasn't needed, but third game, he always kind of knows. It was just like Kobe as well. I mean, what a way to honor him, right? You just know when it's that game. And we knew it was coming. Yeah. All right, 38 points, 12 and 8.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling that they all have. I mean, you saw how he allowed AD to dominate the game, 42 points, a great comeback for AD. But then it's a feeling you have, you know. And when you're LeBron James, you can get people involved early by distributing the basketball. You know, you can just do other things. But when you have to take over the complete game, in which he did, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. We call that, I'm not messing around tonight, you know? And that's what he said. That game was pivotal, and he's like, I'm not messing around. I'm going to get it.
When those 2 guys come engaged like that, Big Game, Geeter, that production from AD and LeBron alone is more production than the starting 5 of the opposing team.
Yeah.
You know, we look at the rebounds and assists and all-purpose points and production, going downhill, drawing attention. When they play like that, they're unguardable, unbeatable.
All right, guys, the Lakers will look to take a commanding 3-1 lead over the Blazers tonight in Game 4. We'll have it for you right here on Spectrum Sports. And now for the latest on the purple and gold, let's check in with Lakers reporter Mike Trudell. Happy Mamba Day, Mike.
And to you guys, too. And, you know, one thing that's great to see, tough juice in this situation, our friend John Ireland always used to talk about this story where Kobe would appear at the arena like 6 hours before the game, and there were never many young guys that were there to make that trip with him until Caron Butler came into the picture. And Ireland said that he was attached to Kobe's hip that whole season and just essentially getting that advanced training. So I know that a lot of that rubbed off on our own Caron. Now to transition, but stay on Kobe with Frank Vogel. I wondered how that was going to impact the emotional level that the Lakers are going to try to play with. Remember that Portland was the opponent the day after, or I shouldn't say the day after, the game after Kobe's tragic death in January, and just how difficult that environment was for everybody. How can they try to channel that in a different way now that we're a few months past that, but the pain is still so fresh? Here's what Frank Vogel said moments ago.
We want to have positive emotions. We want to have this be a day to celebrate his life and carry that type of emotion into the game. We've always wanted to embody what he stood for, and we all know that he would want us to keep our foot on the gas, even though we've won 2 in a row, and that's what we're going to try to approach this game as.
Frank, just wonder what you've seen collectively through the first 3 games as you made this game plan into Game 4, what you've liked about the rotations, and if there's anything that stood out where you want to focus on improvement.
Our rotations?
Just I guess just the games in general, but rotations is a part of that.
Yeah, each team is making subtle adjustments in terms of how we're handling certain actions defensively, different types of offensive approaches to attack each other's defense, and the series is evolving. It's a little bit different now than where it was to start. We both have a little better understanding of each other, and it still remains clear to me that this team has the offensive firepower to beat us if we're not at our best, and if we don't beat ourselves on the offensive end. So, again, great respect for this team, but confident in our group.
Hey, Frank, it's Dave. Some of the analytical numbers in the 3-game sample size so far really speak to strong defense being played by Caruso on Dame Lillard and pick and roll situations. Where have you seen the development of Alex on the defensive end, and how important is he to your overall chances this postseason?
Well, he's critical, especially with Avery and Rondo being out. Rondo hopefully being back at some point. We become short on small guard defenders, and Alex is one of those guys that has that skill set. He's competing at a high level, but the work on Dame and CJ is being done by 5 guys on the court. In particular, our bigs. Our bigs are probably even more important than the guy on the ball when it comes to Dame, and it's been a team effort.
All right, guys, getting back to Mamba Day. Geeter, earlier you showed and mentioned those jerseys, those crisp Kobe Bryant co-designed jerseys that they're going to have on. They're also going to see several players wearing shoes like this, the Kobe 5 Protro, a bunch of different colorways. Anthony Davis, keep an eye on him. He's been wearing various colorways of this. This is the big stage, so I think these are among the cleanest sneakers ever, also among the most comfortable. So keep an eye during the game. You'll see some more of these.
Thank you, Mike. We're going to show Karan's too, because Mike,
I keep them on now.
Oh,
Mike and
go.
Karan have
undefeated, baby.
Karan, look, I don't want to get mine dirty, okay? I'm scared.
Mike and Karan battle out here with
What's
when it comes
better
to
than
shoe
one
game.
pair? 2.
Yeah, I can't get my dirty, Geeter. I'm keeping them in the air.
I don't think you can.
Mike, come on, you knew Tough Juice had to flex for just a second, right?
That's
Mama
my
Day.
voice.
Of course. Again, you see I have different Kobe's on the feet,
Yeah.
okay? These ones, I don't want to get dirty, Karan. Yours look great, though, man.
You saw the commercial with Kobe. How many olives, sir? 81.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We flex out here.
Shout
Good
out
job,
to
Mike.
Jalen
We
Rose.
appreciate it. All right. Thanks, Mike. Here's a look at the Western Conference playoff bracket. Houston and OKC now tied up at 2 games apiece. That series was so close to becoming 3-0 Rockets, and here we are tied up. And then Clippers, Mavericks 2-2. How about the Jazz Nuggets at 3-1? Not a lot of people saw that coming, Karan.
I sure didn't. And look, because of the struggles of Mike Conley early on in the regular season, but postseason is something different. And he's just been balling ever since the birth of his child. Congratulations again. Dangerous situation for the Nuggets.
And then Luka was just fantastic yesterday. All right, keep it here for Game 4. Lakers and Blazers. Anthony Davis scored 23 of his 29 points in Game 3 in the second half. Will he continue at that pace tonight? We're back with more after the break, but first, a postseason Mamba Day memory. Bang.
Bryant with the save. Oh, you got to get a shot here.
And welcome back, Allie Clifton here. Time for Brez's 3-point play. And Brez, you're switching it up today in honor of Mamba Day. You're looking back at the 3 most memorable games you saw him play while covering him from 2004 to 2016. And we begin with that Lakers versus Jazz game.
Yeah, hard to boil down about 900 games I saw in person of Kobe Bryant to 3, but definitely got to start with his final one. What a finale it was. Started with about 25 of his former teammates honoring him in a pregame show. And then it kind of went downhill a little bit from there. Kobe missed his first 5 shots. Not to worry, though, Allie. He would take 50 on the night in about 42 minutes. And the big number, he scored 60 points. Has ever been a more dramatic, more memorable, more entertaining finale for any player in any retirement game? I dare you to find one, because I know I probably couldn't think of one if you gave me 2 days right now. Kobe Bryant, what a way to go out. A fantastic game to be at for sure.
Your second most memorable game of Kobe, Geeter actually just teased it moments ago, 81 olives, Lakers versus Toronto.
Yeah, thanks for the tease, Geet. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, it was kind of a nothing night. It was a quiet Sunday night. All the sports fans in the United States were still kind of digesting a couple of NFL conference championship games and 2 teams that just were not championship caliber, Toronto and the Lakers. So when Kobe scored 26 points in the first half, it's kind of like, okay, I've seen him do that before. 98% of the NBA can't do that, but I'd seen Kobe do it before. And then the third quarter came, 27 points. And then, Allie, the fourth quarter, another 28 points. He finished with 81. Afterwards, Lakers owner Jerry Buss said it was like watching a miracle unfold. And Phil Jackson, the legendary Laker coach, said, I've seen a lot of games in my life, but nothing quite like that. An amazing, amazing night, really out of nowhere.
And Brez, your final most memorable game, the playoffs are here, so why not we talk about 2010 NBA Finals?
Yeah, Game 7 against the hated Boston Celtics. I'm going to be honest up front. Not Kobe's best game ever. He shot 6 for 24 that day, but it didn't matter. I've never seen Kobe happier in any of the games that I ever covered him because he beat, as he called it, them. He so wanted to beat the Celtics. They beat him and the Lakers 2 years earlier, including a crushing Game 6 loss in Boston by 39 points. There's the iconic shot right there. Kobe jumps up on the scorer's table, ball in his left arm, showing 5. That's his 5th and final championship. Final score 83-79. And even though Kobe did not shoot well that particular game, he was still the finals MVP for sure, averaging almost 29 points a game over the span of all 7.
Brez, well done as always. As you mentioned, over 900 games you were able to witness.
That's a lot of Kobe. Saw some great ones. Tough to X out 897 of them, but managed to do it.
Well done as always. Can't get enough, of course. Thanks so much, Brez. We'll talk to you later in the show. Game 4 between the Lakers and Blazers. It's coming up. Kyle Kuzma is getting ready. 38 minutes to tip off on the Domino's Tracker countdown clock. I'm hungry. Track your pizza delivery at Domino's.com. We're back with more after the break as we continue to celebrate Mamba Day here on Spectrum Sportsnet.
The double team Gasol, now the single coverage by Landry. Ariza drop down. Kobe! Oh! Up high! Down hard! Kobe Bryant!
Well, I guess that ankle is okay. Oh, no, he didn't. Kobe Bean with the elevation.
Access Sportsnet Lakers is brought to you in part by Carl's Jr. Feed your happy at Carl's Jr. with the new A1 double cheeseburger for only $3.49.
Welcome back to Access. Is Kobe the greatest Laker of all time? That is always up for debate, but the numbers don't lie. Take a look at Kobe's career ranks with the Lakers. First in games, first in points, first in three-point field goals made, steals first, 1,944, second in assists. Is that first in assists? It's first in assists. Wow. Celebration continues of Kobe Bryant. Time for Access 360. Karan, you want to break down KCP and what's been the difference between Game 1 and Games 2 and 3 for KCP?
I have to say his shot making and him actually capitalizing on the opportunities, the open looks that Anthony Davis and LeBron James are drawing and creating for him. And I think that as collectives, everyone's going above and beyond to find guys on the perimeter to make sure that they get going. So you see the brush screen right here, KCP is going to set. And then I love the fact that he didn't stay where it's poor spacing. He separated himself, so Dame had to really close out to him to even get a shot at potentially playing some good defense, and KCP nailed it. Now this is, again, a great situation. LeBron James, open court, great spacing. You see Danny Green, AD on the opposing side. And I love that KCP did not stay in the corner. He repositioned himself, moved up, and got into the sight of LeBron. Excellent shot-making opportunity for him. Now look, AD is going down, and KCP is not assuming anything. He's going to get that tip and dunk the basketball. So his activity was different this game. And now you see 1, 2, 3 Portland Trailblazers defenders around LeBron James. You see AD is going to space out this championship basketball. Could have took the shot, made the extra pass to KCP because he had it going, and we know the importance of making sure that he's in a flow to keep the momentum in our favor.
Great breakdown, much more settled, not as anxious, James. Obviously, confidence is a big thing. What have you seen Games 2 and 3?
There's nothing like recovering. You're going to have nights where you don't play your best or you want more of yourself. You know, and Damian, he tortures people all season long. But what I like about Pope is he's like, I'll be damned if you're going to get me twice in a row. You might get him, but he competed, Geeter. He pushed Damian the other way. You know, I saw several cases where, the Lakers scored and Pope was picking up Damian full court, 94, not even letting him get it in bounds. So that made a difference. And then here, no hesitation. Catch and shoot, a lot of confidence. And, you have to really, reapply that after you have a game that's sort of subpar. So I just like the way he recovered and was so impactful on both ends of the floor.
I want to show you guys this tweet because the Lakers really struggled from the free throw line in Game 3, but they did get the win. Dave McMenamin, ESPN, sharing this after the Lakers went 28 for 43 from the foul line in Game 3. Frank Vogel required all of his players to make 100 free throws at Sunday's practice. Big game. I know you like that. Lakers and Blazers are about a half hour from Game 4. You'll see it here on Spectrum Sportsnet. A splint on his dislocated finger didn't cool off Damian Lillard in Game 3. Dame Dollar dropped 34 on 5 of 11 from deep, but the Lakers are making him work.
Got that look.
And next on Access, we'll look back at some of our favorite Kobe moments from his 20-year career with the purple and gold. Long live the up at 6 right here on Spectrum Sportsnet. Here's what you need to know. Today on 824, we celebrate the life of Kobe Bryant. Kobe came to the Lakers in a draft day trade in 1996. Spent 20 years wowing us with his greatness. The world still mourns his tragic passing 7 months ago. And together we honor his legacy. In that spirit, the Lakers will wear their black Mamba jerseys in Game 4 tonight. Lakers displayed their Mamba mentality in Game 3 on Saturday, defeating the Blazers 116-108 to take a 2-1 series lead. As has been their calling card all season long, they did it with defense, holding an explosive Portland team to just 40% from the field. They also dominated on the glass, out-rebounding the Blazers by 17, the largest rebounding difference in the 2020 playoffs so far. As usual, the two-headed Black Mamba snake of this year's Lakers was excellent in their Game 3 victory. Anthony Davis was only 1 for 3 in the first half, but turned it on late, finishing with 29 points and a season-high 8 assists. Meanwhile, LeBron James followed up his 10-point performance in Game 2 with a sizzling 38 points and 12 boards. And we see Dwight Howard. The Lakers and Blazers are coming up as we look inside the bubble. Dwight Howard getting ready for Game 4. 26 minutes to tip off on the Domino's Tracker countdown clock. Track your pizza delivery at Domino's.com. So, guys, it's been a season like no other for the Lakers. And you know they would like to honor Kobe the best way possible and give this city a big gift in winning the championship. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think that probably was one of the first things that was on their mind in Kobe's passing. I know LeBron and, you know, all the guys that, you know, that knew Kobe personally, it had to be something, you know, on their mind. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Even though it's in the bubble, it's still all about number 24 and number 8.
I think just playing in the remembrance and having a tribute like that to dedicate the remainder of the season to his legacy, I think that's what it's all about. So to be able to hoist up that trophy at the end of the season would be, you know, the ultimate, you know, legacy giver.
No question about it. And to win, as Kobe knew as well, you needed teammates that would make big plays, those kind of role player guys, the unsung heroes. And the Lakers have one in Alex Caruso. He stepped up in a big way. And James, I know you were all about it on Saturday, and I know everyone loves a good nerd stat because it makes you sound smart. You know, I always tweet them out myself. According to NBA Math, Alex Caruso ranks first among third-year players in defensive points saved this postseason, 5.78. Jason Tatum on there, Royce O'Neal, Bam, OG, all a part of it. So Caruso getting it done on that end. And now we're going to do a bonus Access 360.
A little bonus.
Big game, James. Caruso doing it on both ends.
Bring an old man out of retirement.
I like
check
that.
off a little dust.
I know you like to do it once in a while.
It
right?
has been amazing to watch Caruso's evolvement over the years because what he's done is he has done what they have asked him to do. You know, here's a kid in the G League, didn't know if he could even make it, you know, to the varsity team, so to speak. But what we see in his play is amazing. He's taking over the point guard position. When LeBron doesn't have the ball, look at how he navigates and keeps his dribble alive. There's Caruso, 186 pounds, sitting a pick for AD. That's just smart basketball because he knew AD could get to the bucket. Here's another situation where the defender is going to go, looks like he's going underneath, and he's going to follow AD. So AD right there for a little pick and pop. You love that. On time, on target. Had 7 assists in this game. Here he is again, recognizing that AD is at the elbow, gets the defense to commit to him. AD pops, for the elbow jumper. And I got to tell you, Geeter, he's turning out to be, without LeBron handling the ball and without Rondo, he's solid as a rock. You know, he plays well with LeBron, has the best plus-minus on the team. And, you know, he shot, I think, 60% from the field that game, hit a three. He's doing a lot of great things, only 2 turnovers. You know, he's a coach's dream.
I know who was talking in all those film sessions back in the 80s, man. Look at you breaking it down like that.
Oh, it used to be called the worthy spin. I'll tell you about that one.
Back in the day. All right, let's send it over to Allie Clifton. She has more on honoring Kobe on Mamba Day. Allie?
That's right, guys. As you can see, the studio looks phenomenal. You guys have done an awesome job talking about it so far. So let's continue the conversation, checking out some social media surrounding the celebration of Kobe Bryant's life and legacy. And of course, we begin with LeBron James. A day doesn't go by when I don't think about him. You were the first guy to put me under your wing and show me the ins and outs of the league, Anthony Davis. That mentality, Kyle Kuzma says, is to be tenacious, play with heart, and be relentless at all times. Rajon Rondo, competitor, ultimate competitor, 2 words. I love this from Pau Gasol. With tears in my eyes today, I just wish so badly that you were here celebrating your B-Day with your girls and family. I miss you and Gigi so much, brother. I will always be thankful for how much you have impacted my life in so many different ways. Danny Green, your legacy will forever live on. Dwight Howard, he went from the greatest basketball player to the greatest dad for his children. One more here, coming from Dion Waiters, coming from Philly. He made a guy like myself chase a dream I never thought about chasing. Could go on and on. Such great words from so many, but now we take time to take a look at Kobe's top plays in his own words. Tip-off for Game 4. Yusuf Nurkic had a double-double in the first quarter of Game 1, but he's only averaging 12 points on 39% shooting. And the Lakers have been picking on him on the defensive end, too. Before the break, 4 tributes to the Mamba.
Finisher of the game comes through in the clutch. The Lakers lead by 5.
I think a lot of that is just the frustration that he feels, and boy, it just gets to a time where he just explodes, and he exploded on that very difficult shot.
And welcome back to Access Sportsnet Lakers. The remaining series schedule for the Lakers and Blazers. Game 4 is coming up right here on Spectrum Sportsnet. 6 o'clock. Game 5 Wednesday right here on Spectrum Sportsnet. Game 6, if necessary, will be on Friday. Game 7 on Sunday. As we switch gears from basketball, footage has recently spread across social media sparking protests. 2 Wisconsin police officers have been put on leave after the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man. The officers shot him multiple times in the back as he entered the driver's side door of an SUV. His 3 children were in the car with him. Karan, this happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, not too far from your hometown.
Yeah, you know, I got the phone calls, a couple friends, happened right in front of his auntie house, and he told me of the incident, and I was just like taken back because, 1, hearing the news, and then 2, like immediately going to social media and seeing it again documented on camera. I do not think that it was a cause that justified lethal force like that, you know, with the officers all on the scene. I think some other tactics could have been used, and I'm just happy, you know, by the grace of God, that this brother is in stable condition right now.
Yeah, that is the good news. Big game, I want to show you a couple tweets. We've talked a lot about the players using their platform and how proud you are of them. Here's a tweet from LeBron, and you all wonder why we say what we say about the police. Someone please tell me what is going on here. I'll say exactly another black man being targeted. This is so wrong and so sad. Feel so sorry for him, his family, and our people. We want justice. And then Donovan Mitchell. Also, at the games and playoffs, this is sick and is a real problem. We demand justice. It's crazy. I don't have any words. This is why we don't feel safe. Just another heartbreaking video. Big game, James. And as LeBron said, we, you know, by the grace of God, stable condition.
Yeah. We're very happy that you know that he survived. You know, that's the first thing. But it is becoming extremely unfortunate that this is something that we see continuously. And so children were in the car. as the police were shooting. And so we see this over and over. So I'm happy to see, that we all use our platform, and we can't quit until there is a real solution to this wicked problem that's been around for many, many decades. But now we're seeing it on video, and it's disturbing.
As you said, over and over. And that's the disturbing part. And that's also the part, Karan, where you hope America can see it. Some for the first time, maybe, or some that have maybe turned an eye to it, can see this going on almost every day, it seems like.
Yeah, it's one thing to have that visual where, I'm 40 years old, I turn on the television or look at a text, and I see the reality of the situation. But to big game point, to know that the kids was in the car and the trauma that they may have suffered from that experience.
Son's birthday.
I mean, it's just devastating. And just to add on to that, because I know a little bit more about the case, is that he was breaking up an incident. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So he was being a mediator in that situation, and then turned his back going to the car, and then, was fired upon. So it's crazy.
All right, guys, as usual, always appreciate your words. Game 4 minutes away here on Spectrum Sportsnet. JaVale McGee is making 77% from the field in this series. Take Your Shot is next.